Ever wondered what happened to unique old house styles? From octagonal homes to Tudor estates, these designs once thrived but are now rare. Let's explore 25 forgotten architectural gems. Which one would you revive? Octagon houses were an innovative architectural trend that gained popularity in the mid-19th century, largely due to the influence of Orson Squire Fowler. He believed that the octagonal shape allowed for better airflow, increased natural light, and maximized space efficiency. Unlike traditional rectangular houses, octagon homes enclosed about 20% more interior space with the same perimeter, making them cost-effective and energy efficient. Many featured flat roofs with central cupolas, wraparound verandas, and advanced heating and water collection systems for their time. Despite these advantages, octagon houses never became mainstream and gradually faded from popularity by the early 1900s. Some well-preserved examples still exist today, such as the Longwood Mansion in Mississippi and the Octagon House in Watertown, Wisconsin. Fowler's own extravagant octagonal home, known as Fowler's Folly, proved too costly and was eventually abandoned and demolished in 1897. Fowler's innovative design had many benefits. But why do you think octagon houses never became mainstream? Queen Anne homes flourished in the United States between 1880 and 1910, replacing the French-inspired Second Empire style. These homes stood out with their elaborate ornamentation, asymmetrical facades, and vibrant color schemes. Towers, turrets, patterned shingles, and large wraparound porches added to their whimsical charm. Unlike their British counterparts, American Queen Anne homes embraced variety, featuring steep gabled roofs, stained glass windows, and intricately carved woodwork. The style was widely adopted across the country, appearing in urban row houses, suburban mansions, and cozy cottages. However, by the early 20th century, their intricate details became less desirable as homebuyers favored the cleaner lines of the Colonial Revival movement. Some elements, such as decorative spindlework and wraparound porches, persisted into later styles. One of the most famous Queen Anne homes is the Carson Mansion in Eureka, California, considered one of the most photographed Victorian homes in the country. The American Foursquare emerged in the late 19th century as a reaction to the elaborate, heavily ornamented Victorian styles. These homes were designed for practicality, featuring a simple, boxy structure with 2.5 stories, a central dormer, and a large front porch supported by columns. They provided maximum interior space on smaller urban lots, making them ideal for growing families. Often referred to as the Prairie box, this style shared characteristics with the Prairie School movement pioneered by Frank Lloyd Wright. Many were sold as mail-order homes, with companies like Sears and Aladdin offering pre-cut kits for easy assembly. The affordability and functionality of the American Foursquare made it a staple in cities and streetcar suburbs across the United States. However, by the late 1930s, the style fell out of favor as more modern, lower-maintenance home designs took over. As homeowners sought more personality in their designs, a handcrafted, nature-inspired style took center stage next. Craftsman bungalows gained popularity in the early 20th century, emerging from the arts and crafts movement that emphasized simplicity, craftsmanship, and natural materials. These homes typically featured low-pitched roofs with wide eaves, exposed rafters, and built-in furniture like bookshelves and window seats. The design was heavily influenced by the Prairie style and shingle style, incorporating handcrafted details that reflected the movement's rejection of industrialization. Craftsman homes were particularly common in California, where their open floor plans and deep porches suited the climate. Gustav Stickley, a key figure in the movement, popularized the style through his magazine, The Craftsman, which showcased architectural blueprints and design principles. Though they were affordable and well-built, the rise of mass production and modern architectural styles led to the decline of the Craftsman bungalow by the 1930s. Today, many have been preserved and restored as historic homes. Shotgun houses were a defining feature of southern urban neighborhoods from the late 19th century to the early 20th century. These narrow, one-story homes were typically no more than 12 feet wide, with rooms arranged in a straight line from front to back. With no hallways, a person could theoretically fire a shotgun through the front door and have the blast exit cleanly out the back, hence the name. The design likely originated in New Orleans, influenced by Haitian and West African architectural traditions brought to the U.S. by enslaved and free black builders. Shotgun houses were inexpensive and space-efficient, making them ideal for densely populated areas. Many were built close together to maximize land use and take advantage of natural ventilation in hot climates. By the mid-20th century, urban renewal projects led to the demolition of many shotgun homes, but in recent years, efforts to restore and preserve them have gained traction in cities like New Orleans and Louisville. With their space-efficient layout and cultural significance, do you think shotgun houses could make a comeback in modern urban housing? Tudor Revival homes gained popularity in the United States in the early 20th century, drawing inspiration from medieval English cottages and grand manors. These homes were characterized by steeply pitched roofs, decorative half-timbering, tall chimneys, and arched doorways. Wealthy homeowners in the 1920s and 30s found the style appealing due to its old-world charm and association with European craftsmanship. Many Tudor Revival homes were built in affluent suburban neighborhoods, particularly in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. However, after World War II, their elaborate construction and costly materials made them less practical, leading to the rise of more modern and efficient home designs. By the 1970s, simplified versions of the style emerged, replacing real wood with synthetic materials. While full-scale Tudor homes are no longer widely built, they remain a nostalgic favorite in historic districts. Though the Tudor Revival evoked old-world charm, the demand for more cost-effective housing after World War II led to its decline. But nostalgia isn't lost just yet. Let's explore another classic design that still captures imaginations today. The Dutch Colonial Revival style emerged in the early 20th century as a nostalgic nod to colonial-era Dutch settlers in the northeastern United States. These homes are best known for their distinctive gambrel roofs, which resemble barn roofs and allow for spacious second-story living areas. Early Dutch colonial homes, dating back to the 1600s, were primarily built from stone and brick, but their 20th century revivals often featured wood siding, dormer windows, and symmetrical facades. The wide, overhanging eaves provided additional protection from the elements, and many homes included decorative shutters and central entryways. This style remained popular through the 1930s, but gradually faded as homebuyers gravitated toward simpler, more cost-effective designs. One of the most famous examples of a Dutch Colonial Revival home is 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, which became notorious due to the Amityville horror legend. Would you live in a home with a gambrel roof, or do you prefer more contemporary roof designs? Lustron homes were an ambitious attempt to revolutionize post-World War II housing by offering prefabricated all-steel homes that were durable and low-maintenance. Designed by industrialist Carl Strandlund, these homes were constructed using enameled steel panels and built from prefabricated kits containing over 3,000 parts. The concept was meant to address the severe housing shortage in the late 1940s, with plans to produce thousands of units. Lustron homes featured metal walls, built-in storage, and even a unique combination clothes and dishwashing machine. Despite their innovative design, the Lustron Corporation struggled financially due to government restrictions and inefficient production methods. By 1950, the company had declared bankruptcy, and only around 2,500 Lustron homes were ever built. Many still stand today as historical curiosities, with some being preserved as part of architectural heritage projects. Atomic ranch homes, a sleek and futuristic take on the classic ranch house, became widely popular in the post-war era. Influenced by mid-century modern design, these homes featured clean lines, open floor plans, and large windows that emphasized indoor-outdoor living. They were characterized by flat or low-pitched roofs, clear-story windows, and minimalist functional designs. The style was heavily influenced by architect Cliff May, who helped popularize the ranch-style house in California, blending elements of Spanish colonial architecture with modern aesthetics. By the 1950s, 9 out of 10 new homes in America were ranch houses due to their affordability and practicality. However, by the 1970s, changing tastes and a push for more compact housing led to their decline. Today, original atomic ranch homes are highly sought after by mid-century design enthusiasts, with many undergoing careful restoration to preserve their original aesthetic. As sleek and futuristic as they were, atomic ranch homes couldn't escape changing design trends. But before minimalism took over, a bolder and even more controversial style emerged. Brutalist homes were a bold and unconventional architectural movement that gained traction in the 1950s and peaked in popularity during the 1960s and 70s. Characterized by raw concrete, geometric forms, and minimal ornamentation, these homes emphasized function over form. The style was inspired by modernist architect Le Corbusier and was embraced in socialist countries, where its use of concrete symbolized equality and affordability. Brutalist homes often featured exposed support beams, massive window panels, and a stark industrial aesthetic. However, by the late 1970s, brutalism faced criticism for its harsh, uninviting appearance and associations with urban decay. Many brutalist buildings, including residential homes, were demolished or heavily modified in later decades. Despite this, some have gained cultural significance and are now preserved as architectural landmarks. The term brutalism comes from the French phrase béton brut, meaning raw concrete, rather than from the word brutal. Do you think brutalist homes were unfairly criticized, or was their raw concrete aesthetic truly too harsh for residential living? Gothic Revival homes flourished in the mid-19th century, drawing inspiration from medieval European cathedrals and castles. These homes were instantly recognizable for their pointed arches, steep gabled roofs, and ornate wooden trim known as gingerbread detailing. Many featured lancet windows, decorative buttresses, and stained glass, creating a dramatic, romantic aesthetic. The style was particularly popular for churches and institutional buildings, but also influenced residential architecture, especially in the northeastern United States. Wealthy homeowners embraced Gothic Revival for its grandeur and connection to historic craftsmanship. However, the elaborate designs made them costly to construct and maintain, leading to their decline by the late 19th century as simpler, more practical styles gained popularity. Some well-preserved Gothic Revival homes, like the Lyndhurst Mansion in New York, remain as architectural landmarks. Second Empire homes, inspired by the grand architecture of Napoleon III's France, became a dominant style in the U.S. during the late 1800s. They are best known for their distinctive mansard roofs, which provided additional attic living space while maintaining an elegant appearance. These homes often featured ornate cornices, tall windows, decorative ironwork, and lavish interiors, reflecting the wealth and status of their owners. The style was widely used in urban townhouses and grand country estates, adding a touch of European sophistication to American cities. However, as architectural tastes shifted toward simpler, more functional designs in the early 20th century, Second Empire homes fell out of favor. Many were demolished or remodeled, though some, like the P.T. Barnum House in Connecticut, remain standing as historic treasures. Earth-sheltered homes, designed to blend seamlessly into the landscape, experienced a brief surge in popularity during the 1970s energy crisis. These homes were partially or fully buried underground, taking advantage of natural insulation to regulate indoor temperatures year-round. Often built with reinforced concrete and covered with soil, they were designed to be energy efficient, soundproof, and resistant to extreme weather. Some featured skylights or atriums to bring in natural light, while others had green roofs that promoted sustainability. Despite their benefits, earth-sheltered homes never became mainstream due to high construction costs and the difficulty of obtaining permits. While a few still exist today, they remain a niche architectural curiosity rather than a widely adopted housing style. Could underground living be the future of sustainable housing, or are earth-sheltered homes too impractical for most homeowners? Log cabins were an essential part of early American history, serving as durable, simple homes for settlers on the frontier. Built using horizontally stacked logs with notched corners for stability, these homes provided sturdy shelter against harsh weather. Early log cabins were typically one-room structures with a central fireplace, but as settlements grew, larger, multi-room designs emerged. The style was widely used throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, particularly in rural and mountainous regions. While log cabins are no longer a primary housing style, they continue to be popular as vacation homes, lodges, and historical reconstructions. Iconic examples include Abraham Lincoln's boyhood home in Kentucky, which has been preserved as a National Historic Site. Geodesic domes, developed by visionary architect Buckminster Fuller in the mid-20th century, were designed to be lightweight, energy-efficient, and incredibly strong. These dome-shaped structures used a network of triangular panels to create a self-supporting, aerodynamic shell that required fewer materials than traditional homes. Geodesic domes were praised for their ability to withstand extreme weather conditions, and some were built as experimental housing solutions in the 1960s and 70s. However, despite their futuristic appeal, they never became mainstream. Their unconventional interior layout made furnishing difficult, and leaks often occurred at the panel joints. While geodesic domes remain popular in eco-friendly housing and disaster relief projects, they are rarely seen in standard residential neighborhoods today. Sears kit homes were a revolutionary approach to home building in the early 20th century, allowing buyers to order a complete house through a mail-order catalog. Sold between 1908 and 1940, these homes arrived as pre-cut materials with detailed instructions for easy assembly. Sears offered over 400 designs, ranging from simple cottages to grand multi-story houses. These homes were not only affordable, but also customizable, making them popular among middle-class families. Many Sears kit homes were built in newly developing suburbs, providing a solution to America's growing housing needs. Despite their practicality, the Great Depression and rising labor costs made them less viable, leading Sears to discontinue production. Today, thousands of these homes still stand, with preservation efforts recognizing them as an important part of architectural history. While Sears kit homes made home ownership accessible to many, mass production eventually led to their downfall. But long before prefab homes, another style relied on intricate wooden craftsmanship. Victorian stick-style architecture emerged in the mid to late 19th century as a transition between Gothic Revival and Queen Anne styles. These homes featured exposed wooden trusses, steep gabled roofs, and intricate decorative patterns that emphasized their wooden framework. Stick-style houses were particularly popular in coastal towns and growing cities, where their lightweight materials and detailed craftsmanship were admired. Their hallmark was a distinctive stickwork pattern that mimicked medieval timber framing, often enhanced with patterned shingles and ornamental brackets. Despite their aesthetic appeal, the labor-intensive construction made them expensive, and by the 1890s the style was overtaken by the more elaborate Queen Anne style. Today, original stick-style homes are rare, with many either demolished or significantly remodeled. The Pueblo Revival style gained popularity in the early 20th century, drawing inspiration from the Adobe dwellings of Native American tribes in the Southwest. These homes featured thick, earth-toned stucco walls, flat roofs, and rounded edges, mimicking traditional Pueblo structures. Wooden beams, known as vigas, often extended from the walls, and recessed windows provided natural cooling. The movement was heavily influenced by Spanish colonial architecture and became a defining style in New Mexico, particularly in cities like Santa Fe. While Pueblo Revival homes are still found in the Southwest, they are less commonly built today due to construction costs and the preference for more conventional modern styles. Many historic Pueblo Revival buildings have been preserved, serving as cultural landmarks. Saltbox houses were a hallmark of early colonial America, distinguished by their asymmetrical, sloping roofs that extended lower on one side than the other. This design, originating in the 17th century, allowed for better drainage of rain and snow while maximizing living space on the upper floor. Typically built from timber, these homes featured central chimneys, simple facades, and small multi-paned windows. The style was especially common in New England, where it suited the harsh winters. Saltbox homes remained popular through the 18th century, but became obsolete as architectural trends shifted toward more balanced, symmetrical designs. Today, well-preserved Saltbox homes serve as a reminder of America's colonial past, with many functioning as museums or private residences. Italianate homes rose to prominence in the mid-19th century, influenced by the romanticized country villas of Italy. These homes featured tall, narrow windows with decorative crowns, overhanging eaves supported by ornate brackets, and square towers or cupolas. The Italianate style was especially popular in urban settings, where its vertical proportions made it well suited for row houses. The style was widely adopted in the Northeast and Midwest, with cities like San Francisco and Cincinnati boasting numerous examples. As the 20th century approached, architectural tastes shifted toward simpler and more functional styles, leading to the decline of Italianate homes. Many surviving Italianate houses have been restored, recognized for their historical and aesthetic significance. Do you think the tall, narrow windows and decorative brackets of Italianate homes still have a place in modern architecture? Adobe brick homes have been used for centuries, particularly in the American Southwest and Latin America. Constructed from sun-dried mud bricks, they are naturally energy efficient, staying cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Their thick walls provided excellent insulation, and the materials were readily available, making them a sustainable choice. However, Adobe homes required frequent maintenance, as exposure to rain and moisture could cause erosion. The advent of modern construction materials such as concrete and synthetic insulation led to a decline in Adobe home building. Today, some communities still use Adobe construction, but it is more common in historic preservation projects than in new developments. Emerging in the late 18th century, Federal-style homes were heavily influenced by classical Roman and Greek architecture. These homes were known for their symmetrical facades, elliptical fan lights over doors, and decorative cornices. Popular among the newly independent American elite, Federal homes often featured brick or clapboard exteriors and balanced proportions. The interiors were grand yet refined, with ornate fireplaces, tall ceilings, and intricate molding. However, by the mid-19th century, tastes shifted toward more elaborate Victorian designs and Greek Revival styles, leading to the gradual decline of Federal-style homes. Today, many well-preserved examples exist in historic districts, particularly along the East Coast. Cape Dutch homes, originally built by Dutch settlers in South Africa in the 17th century, featured distinctive gabled roofs, thick whitewashed walls, and thatched roofing. The style was later introduced to parts of the U.S., particularly in regions with Dutch colonial influence, such as New York and New Jersey. These homes were designed to be durable and well-suited for warm climates, with small windows to help regulate interior temperatures. Although Cape Dutch homes are now rare outside of historical sites, they remain an iconic symbol of early Dutch architecture and are preserved in South Africa as part of the country's heritage. Would you like to see Cape Dutch architecture make a resurgence, or do you think it belongs in history? Yurts, originating from Central Asia, have been used for thousands of years by nomadic herders in Mongolia, Kazakhstan, and other regions. These portable circular homes were traditionally made from wooden lattice frames covered with felt or animal hides, providing insulation against harsh weather. Yurts were designed for easy assembly and disassembly, allowing families to move with their livestock as needed. Although modern yurts have been adapted with contemporary materials like canvas and insulation, they are rarely built as permanent residences. Instead, they are often used for eco-lodging, glamping, and off-grid retreats, keeping their traditional charm while serving new purposes. Prairie-style homes, pioneered by Frank Lloyd Wright in the early 20th century, emphasized horizontal lines, open floor plans, and a connection with nature. These homes often featured low-pitched roofs with wide eaves, built-in furniture, and long bands of windows to bring in natural light. Prairie homes were a stark departure from the more ornate Victorian and colonial styles, offering a modern, minimalist aesthetic. While this architectural movement influenced contemporary home design, true prairie-style homes became less common after the 1920s, as American housing trends shifted toward more compact and cost-effective designs. Today, prairie-style homes are still admired for their timeless appeal, with some preserved as historic landmarks. So, if you could bring back one style of home, which one would it be? Drop a comment below and let us know your favorite lost architectural style. Architecture constantly evolves, with some styles fading while others endure. Which lost home style deserves a comeback? Share your favorite in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.